All right, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a lovely day, a lovely evening. I guess for a lot of people, it's evening. For me, doing our little Q&A. I don't know how long the Q&A is going to be tonight, just because I want to spend some time with my fiance, and my youngest son took a late nap today, so she's upstairs entertaining him right now. I hope, unless he's about to come downstairs right now. Anyways, how are you guys doing? First of all, I'll just give a shout out to everyone who's here in the chat right now. Caspin, 5J Fam, Mark Greenberg, Galaxy, M the Moon, Zumakito, Prophet Slaughter, Johnny Hernandez, Super Mario, Peter Tawfiq, Ryan Mensing, Seguin the Pikachu fan, Red Falcon 94. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Let me just double check that I don't see anyone talking over on Twitch. We also broadcast ourselves on Twitch as well, most of the time. Shout out to 5J from 5J Gaming. He threw his Twitch Prime sub at me because I threw my Twitch Prime sub at him. So I guess he just hit me back with his sub. All right. So how's it going, guys? Welcome to our Wednesday Q&A. No, we're not actually back on a regular streaming schedule yet. It's still sporadic. But for those who are new or haven't been here in a while, usually Wednesdays is when I do a Q&A live stream. This is in addition to Prime Answers that comes out on Saturday. That's kind of the standalone Q&A, whereas this is one that's live. And since I don't keep my live streams live after the fact, it's nice to have that standalone one on the weekend as well. Mark Greenberg is here, which is always fun. How's it going, Mark Greenberg? Haven't seen you in forever, my man. Monthly Gamer is here. How's it going? That also reminds me, I gotta share this on Discord too, or just because it only gives the Twitch link on Discord, so I need to change that up on our Discord server there. All right. That being said, let's get right into the questions. My mic's too low. I can turn my mic up. Just one second. My mic was low. Hold on. I have my mic low for recording purposes, because I can always mess with the volume after the fact. But obviously, I'm not recording right now, so I can turn that back up. My lighting's really bad. One second. I don't know if that's much better, but that's the best lighting I can do. I don't really care if the background's lit up, by the way. That literally does not matter to me, but all right. Is that annoying? Is that annoying you, Nate? The hanger that's facing the other direction. All right. I'll fix that for you quick. You're the first person. I mean, you can't be too OCD, because otherwise you would notice that there's an incline. It goes up and then down and then up again. That's what happens when you don't have one of those laser levels to mark your spots you're gonna put the pins in to hang. Anyways, so eventually I'll get that fixed. So I think the only question we've had so far was obviously about my other job. From Mark Greenberg, I did an entire live stream about it yesterday, which obviously you didn't catch, and I did a standalone video today on it too, which you must not have watched. so that answers it all. But basically, the person who owns the place that I was doing my sales job for informed me on New Year's Day that my services will no longer be required. I did convince him to extend me a couple extra weeks, since he didn't really give me any warning, and so I still have a couple more weeks of that one, but that's pretty much it, and that's all right. I mean, It sucks because that job was why I was able to do YouTube full time, because I don't even make minimum wage doing YouTube full time. But being able to combine what I do make on YouTube with what I made from that job enabled me to keep doing what I was doing. And that job didn't require me to put a lot of hours in anymore. It used to require a lot more hours, by the way. I've done that job for 5 years. That job used to require way more hours. But I got so good at the job that it didn't require that kind of time anymore. But, you know, the bottom line is that whole situation is what leads to, well, you know, if I don't figure out a way to replace that income without having to put in a whole bunch of Neil Willis in my life. Neil Willis hits us with that $25 donee. Thank you so much, Neil. Let's give you a little Jacko Blast for that one, huh? I think that's deserving of a Jacko Blast. Don't you agree? Don't you agree it's deserving of a Jacko Blast? Thank you so much. We also had 300 bits literally land at the exact same time. We'll go with the Craig. He says, sorry about your job, Nate. I hope you can continue to do what you do on what you love on YouTube. So that was the big thing with the losing of that job. Is that job is what enabled me to be a full-time YouTuber. Without that job, it's hard to be a full-time YouTuber since I don't make enough money on YouTube to do that. Now, we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/10prime. Link down in the description to it. You can go join there. We're actually really, really close now to being able to have game reviews every single month. We've had our biggest boost in a while. Sonic Man the Best hits us with 100 bits on Twitch as well. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, thank you, Lord. You fixed that hanger. You're welcome, my man. My lady. All right. First off, cheers. So yeah, the thing with the job, that job loss is that's what enabled me to do YouTube full time. Without that, if I had to get a full time job anywhere else working 40+ hours a week, I won't be able to do YouTube. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I will be able to fulfill the Patreon stretch goals, of course. So like the podcast will still happen every week. Now we have editorials that have to come every week. We're almost at game reviews once a month. That stuff would still happen because that's funded, right? That I'm being paid to do that. So that's going to occur. But I won't have the time to dedicate like I do now to YouTube. Now, I have like a 3-month buffer here because I have, you know, one more of the paycheck coming in from that sales job, plus then there's tax returns. So I can kind of float for a few months here. But then after a few months, that's when I have to make the decision. Is it time for me to get the full-time job and kind of step back from YouTube? Again, there will still be content. It's just not going to be daily anymore. So first off, cheers, Neil Willis. Now how you guys can obviously help ensure that daily content can keep going is to support us over on patreon.com/10prime. There's no way in heck Patreon's ever going to replace the $1,500 a month I was making at that other job. But if you can even get to half of that, half of that's a pipe dream. I mean, we're almost at 300. You know, having to double that would be amazing, but I'm not going to get presumptuous that's going to happen. But if you would like to support us, like that's the way to do it. And I got 3 months to basically massively grow my YouTube channel, massively increase viewership, and massively increase that Patreon. So we'll see what happens. All I know is this is my dream job, what I'm doing right now, live streaming and making all those videos I make. That's my dream job, and I'm going to keep pursuing it for as long as I possibly can because I believe you should chase your dreams. And I'm 32 years old chasing a dream. And I got 3 months to find out if that dream is going to become reality. So let's go. Let's hit it hardcore. Let's hit that grindstone. Let's make it happen. I think I'm done crying about the whole thing. I cried a lot, did a lot of thinking. It was a very interesting situation. For all those bits over on Twitch, I think I'll just I'll take a little wine, mostly because I want to chase down that disgusting rum. Thing is, I like rum normally, but that shot didn't sit with me very well. So cheers. All right, enough of that crap. Back to my energy tea. It's not really a firing or a laying off. To understand that job, I wasn't a contract employee. I wasn't a W-2 employee. I wasn't really an employee. I was a volunteer that was allowed to sell items like using Amazon affiliate codes or affiliate links for various merchandise places on a Facebook page. In exchange, I would run that page and make sure like traffic was sent to his websites, and he would make ad revenue off the websites, blah, blah, blah. So it was just like an agreement that I would run the page. It wasn't like there was no contract. There was no, he basically paid me nothing. He paid me nothing. I made what I put into it, right? So the fact I was able to make so much working so little is just because I got really good at it. Like really good at it. But I was really good at it specifically to that page because I built that page from 0 likes to 840,000. So I still know the ins and outs of that page, the ins and outs of that fan base, and how to, sell official. Basically, I sold mostly official Zelda merchandise, and a lot of it. And people are obviously pretty happy when they're getting official merchandise. I mean, they get happy. I sold a few fan things too. That's not. I mean, there's fan creations I sold as well for, took a little cut off the top. But, as for doing that job in the Tenor Prime Facebook, the problem is Facebook's algorithm has changed so much. My page, I've tried selling things on my page. No one buys anything. I make like $10 a month. My page, for all of its 63,000 likes I have on that page, it's not even remotely the same as a 840,000 page. And that Facebook page doesn't grow anymore. Basically, no one's Facebook page grows anymore. Facebook changed the algorithm to the point they want your money. If I want my page to grow, I got to give them money. And I'm not giving Facebook money. So, it's whatever. Honestly, what I want to do is YouTube. This is my dream. I'm shooting for the stars. I got 3 months to make this shooting for the stars thing a reality. So let's just do it. Let's hit the grindstone. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'm at 100,000 subscribers by the time this whole thing's said and done. Who knows? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but things are looking well. We're actually like, what sucks about all this is that the channel is at the healthiest point it's ever been. To give you an example, do I have this set up to even show it? Hold on. I think I have this set up to show it. No, not that. This? Okay. Let me show you. Like, the channel's... Oh, man. I'm going to load up and show you guys something. I'll just move this like that. All right. I want to show you guys this. I'm going to transition here. Whoops. They're not spelling Tenor Prime, right? Or is it, maybe it's still listed under the original YouTube name. If I type in Zelda Informer, there it is. All right, so, I mean, we're doing the healthiest we've ever done. We have never had these kind of averages on our channel. I mean, 10,000, 11, 11, 12, 10, 12, 18, 17, 33,000 views today. We've never had, like, we've had more viewership than that in a single day. But every time we've had views like this, it's because one video went viral, right? One video went viral. But that's not what's happening. Our subs, 156, 98, 89, 62, like these sub numbers are crazy. And like I'm used to getting like 20 subs a day, maybe, and 5,000 views. But like, just look at how my content's performing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I hit it in the YouTube algorithm. So now like YouTube's favoring my content at like the exact time I need them to. I have no idea. But like, look at this. I mean, heck, we got 200 views already in 27 minutes on this one, and I'm live streaming, which that usually hurts views. 1.4 thousand, 2.5, 2.9, 10,000, 3.3. This one did a little lower than I would have liked because I put a lot of time into it, but what are you going to do? 1.6, 5.1, 4.1. Our Prime Answers videos usually always do less because this one really only hits on the most hardcore of hardcore fans, because it's a long show and it goes through a lot of stuff. 4.9, 1.3, 1.7, 4.2. Like every third video is doing like 4,000. Like that's awesome. And I'm used to this. Like you see this 956. Like I'm used to like barely cracking 1,000 views. So viewership's way up. Content production's way up. That probably plays a role in it. And overall, the channel is the healthiest it's ever been in the history of the channel. Like it's crazy. Things are going so awesome. But unfortunately, even as awesome as it is, it's still not good enough for me to support like myself. Well, myself, I could probably support just me, but I can't support my 3 kids. That's really what the other job was for. But hey, if we keep trending in this direction, everything could change. Literally everything could change. And with your guys' support through patreon.com/NintendoPrime, which also helps us launch new shows. We have a whole bunch of original show stretch goals on Patreon. And then with your support there and, with continued growth of the channel, maybe in 3 months we hit a point that I'm doing just fine. And I'm back to where I was in total revenue. And then we're just growing from that point forward, which would be awesome. But what are you going to do? Go with the Craig, says he remembers, he said this over on Twitch, he says, I remember Boogie2988 did a Francis rant video where he ranted against Mark Zuckerberg for how Facebook is being run now. I don't have that kind of money, Mark. Oh, yeah. I mean, they really made a lot of changes at Facebook that stunted everything. What happened? Hey, random referencer. Thank you so much. For referencer, I don't know. I totally butchered that. Thank you so much for subscribing, and Sonic Man the Best for hosting my stream. I don't know if you have anyone watching it on your side, but thank you so much for hosting. So let's see here. This is a Q&A, so be sure to just ping my name in the chat. I gotta kind of look at YouTube. Something's up with Streamlabs. I don't know what I can't the chat's not working, so I gotta go through YouTube for it, which is fine. So let's see here. Nate, have I played Firewatch yet? Thoughts on the game? I have not played Firewatch. I've seen some videos of it. It looks gorgeous. But I have not had a chance to play it, so I can't really give any thoughts on that game yet. Am I excited for Luigi's Mansion 3? Yes, it is one of my most anticipated games this year. I almost said next year. I'm just going to get used to the fact it's 2019. I still write 2018 at times when I'm doing dates, and I got to be like, oh, wait, no, that's gone now. That'll never be back again. Not for me anyways. Maybe if the calendar gets reset sometime in the future. How much did you make for doing YouTube full time? I can't. YouTube doesn't like when you give exact figures. And it's not even 100% accurate because I have an MCN, which I'll be dumping the MCN in October. I'm actually giving them notice this summer, and then it'll be over in October. Because my MCN takes a 20% cut. And I don't want to say they don't provide anything. I don't feel like they're providing. My channel's growing to a point that I don't think they're providing enough value for the 20% cut they take. So when that contract's over, that's done. That'll also be a nice boost as well back to the channel. But I mean, let's just say $500 maybe a month. I just giving a ballpark average. Some months it's higher, some months it's lower. But let's see here. And by the time it gets to me, after taxes and after my MCN and Google and everyone takes their cut out of the money. Let's see here. Note 9 tech support in the house. Sonderman the Best says, don't feel bad. Something is supposed to happen on February 1st. My dad said he will leave if my sister does not move out by February 1st. Holy crud. I don't know what's going on in your household, but all right. You think you might hit it? 3 months time? Go hard. I mean, that's the idea. If we end up getting up to 600, 700, 800 plus whatever on Patreon and the channel continues to grow, at that point, boom, we're back to where I was. Probably back to where I was anyways. It'll be close enough that I can keep hitting the grindstone hard on YouTube and get by. And eventually, by the end of the year, not just get by anymore, but actually be massively successful and not be able to actually put money in my bank and keep it there. That's the long haul goal, of course. Putting money in my bank, doing investments, getting a retirement, set up 401k or whatever I decide to do for my retirement account and all that stuff. Plus all the normal bills. You have all the health insurance and the rent and property taxes and all the other crap out there that you always have to take care of. GOE, thank you so much for subscribing. What I'm hoping for is that you get a video that goes viral and you gain 30k subs. So that's not really how it works, Mark. So for those who don't know, back in November, we had a video go viral. It is now the top viewed video we have ever had. And it went viral in the middle of us doing that Nintendo Switch bundle giveaway. So we gave massive incentive for people to subscribe that caught that video. And it's the highest viewed video in the history of Nintendo Prime specifically. So it's got like 308,000 views. We gained, you know, some subs. We gained like 1,000, like 1.5 thousand subs. You don't gain 30K. Maybe if it would have been viral for millions of views, but like we're kind of too small of a channel for that to happen. So I don't really, and here's the thing, I don't know that I want to get massive off of a viral video, because then you're not necessarily gaining the kind of fans you might necessarily want. You want people who are enjoying your content along the way, rather than like someone, like all these people really love that 1 million view video, but then like they watch the rest of your content and they end up unsubscribing because they don't like it. So viral videos are great, but I don't know that viral videos are the ideal way to grow. I know some Viners and other people in the past would say, oh, that's the only way to grow, but we've obviously been growing really well. I mean, we've gained almost 3,000 subs over the past month. I'm doing something right, clearly. Like we've never had a month like that. So the Q&A is already going, Andre. Q&A has been going the whole time. Hopefully some guy at IGN copies my review. Yeah, well, I mean that one YouTuber, he definitely got like what, 60,000 subs out of that whole thing. Crazy. So he basically got used and thrown out when it got big. I mean I mean, welcome to business. Welcome to business. I wonder what Philip is doing for money. Hey, well, Philip has like a degree and experience in a completely different field, so it's possible he's back in that and just doing YouTube part-time. Hey, do you know what's become of the infamous Philip? He's still making YouTube videos. If you go to his channel, which is literally just called Philip, he's still making videos. But he's making them at a pace that tells me he's probably not doing it full-time anymore. He's doing, you know, he's probably back at what his career used to be. I'm not going to dive too deep into it. That's a personal thing, but I know that he has a degree and a career that he's done that's outside of YouTube and outside of gaming. So, and I do know that his family's actually kind of well off, so I'm sure that they helped him a little bit if he even needed help. I don't know. I mean, maybe he had money put away. So, let's see here. I'm just kind of scrolling down. Be sure to ping me in the chat. It's the easiest way for me to see your guys' questions. Just at Nintendo Prime with a space or without a space, either way. Johnny Hernandez says, when is the Nintendo Direct? My guess is January 10th. That's what the rumors are saying. And honestly, it's I don't know. Sometime in January. I mean, I don't know an exact date. Nobody knows but Nintendo. Nobody knows but Nintendo. Do you think Zack Snyder DC films that aren't 300 or Watchmen are bad? So 300 and Watchmen are good? I'm just kidding. I really like 300 or Watchmen. I don't know. I don't like what DC films has he done? I don't pay attention. I don't think I've really watched any of the DC films except like Superman. I actually enjoyed the Superman one, but and I saw Batman vs Superman too. I thought it was okay. But I haven't watched like a majority of those DC films. Paint Fat Purple says, keep pushing, bro. Don't forget to exercise. It'll give you the energy you need. Well, another thing, too, is when I exercise and I lose weight, I become more attractive, and attractive faces are popular. I mean, that's a theory that's out there. If you look at a lot of the popular YouTubers, they tend to be a bit more attractive than me. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm losing weight. I am down weight, so we'll try to keep that workout train going. Let's see here. The Reggie video was 1 million, yeah, but I uploaded that when this channel used to be the Zelda Informer channel, and I uploaded that 8 years ago, something like that. That was a long time ago. So like we have higher view videos, but that was from the Zelda Informer days, not from when the channel was converted to Nintendo Prime 2 years ago. Would you rather me be a Patreon of $10 or a $5 Patreon and a $5 member? I mean, if you're talking about what's going to get me the most money, being a patron for $10. Because Patreon's cut is only like 5%, whereas Google's cut on the members on YouTube is 50%. So the $5 you put due on here, I only get $2.50 out of that. That doesn't mean it's a bad deal. Again, YouTube's providing everything here, but you know, and obviously you're not going to get the exclusive symbols in the chat, and you're not going to be able to get the exclusive emojis as well. So you get like extra benefits. So it's really up to you. $10 on Patreon, I get more money, but you get more, I guess, more benefits if you do both. Obviously, if you do the $10 on Patreon, you do get to watch our podcast live every Thursday, which is pretty neat. You can ask Edward Norton about that. Edward Norton watches our podcast live almost every single Thursday. He's like the only person in the chat most of the time watching it every Thursday. Well, we have a bunch of new $10 backers now, so maybe they'll be checking it out too, taking advantage of their perk for the $10 spot. Let's see here. Scrolling on down. Please lose weight before I get a heart attack. I'm not in risk of a heart attack right now. I get regular health checkups. But thank you for your concern. I understand why you have the concern. You know how people say, Ryan Lista chimes in. He says, you know how people say you bash Nintendo too much, and others say you're a Nintendo fanboy? You could do your videos with two characters, one positive and a negative for news or a new kind of video. The good and the bad, the good side, bad side. I don't even know what I would call that kind of thing. But I get what you're saying, where people think I'm a hater and then people think I'm a fanboy. It's such a crazy contrast because it's not even their fault. How YouTube's algorithm works out is that they only end up seeing the negative videos or they only end up seeing the positive videos. They don't see that both exist. Both exist. I'm very critical of Nintendo because I care about the company and I want them to create the best possible stuff they can, the best platforms, the best games. And if I see fault, I'm going to call it out. If I see things are doing awesome, I'm going to call it out. If I'm worried about a potential in the future thing, I'm going to talk about it. If I'm excited for a potential future thing, I'm going to talk about it. So I like the thing that makes me like a super fan or something. I don't know. But I mean, it's just always going to exist. It just comes with the territory of what I do. What if Nintendo tweeted tomorrow, come watch us live in New York to learn about the brand new games and more? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they give us like no warning and drop a direct. Or a live direct or whatever. Like, it wouldn't be the first time they've done something like that. Review Tech. Oh, hey, Matthew Campos. Does a $2 super chat and then mentions he increased his Patreon from $5 to $10. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. What's our Patreon at now? Are we creeping to that? Are we creeping in? Are we creeping in on that 300? I don't know if we're creeping in on that 300 yet. We're getting close. I feel like we lost a patron somewhere in there. I thought we were 49 a moment ago. Now it says 48. Let me look at all the pledges and see if anyone left today. It's always possible somebody left. It doesn't look like it. I don't know. Anyways, we're like $19 short. So $19 short of doing game reviews every month. One of our stretch goals on Patreon. Okay. Let me get back here. Does watching every video give you revenue? I never see ads on your video. Well, do you have ad block? If you have ad block on, you won't see videos. Or you won't see ads. If you are a YouTube Red member, you won't see ads either, but I do get money from like your view when you're a YouTube Red member. It's not much, but enough, you know. It is something you notice in the little, you know, file at the end of the month when you're looking at the revenue. You see, oh, here's all your YouTube Red revenue, here's all your ad revenue, here's all your super chat revenue, blah 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 blah. But yeah, views obviously help because the more views a video gets, the more it gets spread around, the more it helps in the algorithm, and the more, like, actually, the more you guys like videos, like the more people that like this live stream, the more viewership this live stream is going to get. Fun fact. That's just, YouTube puts a big emphasis on likes. That's why you see some YouTubers like, hey, can we get this video to 200 likes? I will never sit there and beg for people to like my video, but I will say, hey, if you do like the video, here's what it's going to do for me. It's going to increase the amount of notifications that go out, which increases viewership, which helps in the YouTube algorithm, which gets my channel and my video more noticed. But like, I'm not going to be like, so like it. Like, you need to like it right now. Like, let's hit 5,000 likes. And, you know, you get what you get. But if you want to see a Nintendo basher, watch the BitBlock. It's all right. He praises and bashes. He just he likes very specific things from Nintendo, and dislikes a lot of other things. That's all right. Everyone's different. Let's see here. Who's your favorite unofficial Nintendo channel besides yourself? Actually, give a top 3 with myself at the top. So you want me to name 2 other channels because you're saying the top 3 should be Nintendo Prime at the top, and then blank and blank. Nintendo channels. I mean, I'm gonna be very specific about when you say Nintendo channels, because like someone like Player Essence or Spawnwave or RGT, like they're technically general gaming channels. So probably my most entertaining YouTube channel I watch is Nintendo Life. They're actually a really popular website, but they have a channel that's like 300,000 subscribers, and Alex from Nintendo Life is awesome. And my boy Xeon, a former colleague of mine from the Zelda Informer days, recently ranked all of the Zelda games for them in a video. So obviously I got to give a shout out to Nintendo Life in the top 3, and then after that, it's a little weird. I mean, Game Explain's up there for me. I watch a lot of their stuff. BitBlock, I watch a lot of his stuff. I watch a lot of Arlo. I don't know. I mean, Arlo's still not technically exclusively Nintendo. He's just like 99% Nintendo. No, I mean, Nintendo Cade, I watch them a lot. Shout out to another fellow small YouTuber. 5J, although 5J does more than just Nintendo, I guess. So it's hard. Like, it's Nintendo Life and then like a massive group of channels. So when it comes to Nintendo only, that's how you show them both sides. Josh liked Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild's my favorite game. So like, he hates everything. He doesn't hate Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild's my favorite game of all time. Philip will be there jogging. Jeez. What is going on? Let's see here. What is going on? Why is Edward Norton like talking something about the guy? Let me scroll up. Have I missed something? Oh, jeez. Okay, hey, John Early and Edward Norton, both of you guys knock it out, or you're gonna have to be both put on a timeout. So let's not start up anything, okay, guys? Come on. This is talk to me. You're here to ask questions of me. Leave each other alone, please. There's someone watching your videos multiple times earn you any more money? Yes and no. I'm not exactly sure on the multiple times thing. What I do know is watching my videos from start all the way to finish, like revenue-wise, watching my videos from start to finish, especially the ones that are over 10 minutes, because I have an ad at the beginning and an ad at the end, period, when they're 10-minute videos, and then there's usually a mid-roll. And if you watch all the way through, you get all 3 ads, plus you're adding 10 minutes for one user's watch time on a video. What YouTube likes in their algorithm is twofold. They like long watch time. Right? My average watch time is like 4 minutes and 11 seconds. They like long watch time. So if I can get it up to 6 or 7 or 8 minutes, YouTube loves that. That also makes you way more money. You get higher quality ads when you have a longer watch time. And then what some fans do, I can't tell you to do this. I just know there's people that do this. What they'll do to help out channels sometimes is they'll grab a playlist, like my news playlist, or Prime News playlist, or the podcast playlist is another good one. They'll grab the playlist, they'll hit play when they go to work on their computer or whatever, and then they'll come home after work and, it literally was playing through, keep it on autoplay, and it played through that entire playlist, for 8-9 hours, giving you tons of watch time, tons of ad impressions. It's a way to cheat the system, but I can't tell people to do that. I'm just telling you that there are people that have done that. I definitely am not encouraging you at all to do that. Don't hate me, YouTube, for mentioning a flaw in your system. I don't do that, by the way. I refuse to cheat the system myself because that's kind of, I don't want to break the rules. Like, last thing I want to do personally is break the rules and then, get in trouble. Let's see here. William Smith says, "Hi, You can and should do a factual video clarifying the situation with the Switch revision. There's a lot of bullshit out there. Message me if you want more details about the upcoming Switch revision. Unless you're someone who has direct sources, William Smith, there's nothing you can tell me I don't already know. Right now, there's no details on the Switch revision. There's just a lot of speculation and a lot of hopes and dreams. You have the stuff that Richard from Review Tech USA put out there that, again, I think is completely wrong. I give almost no credence to it. You have the Wall Street Journal, who are the ones that said we're even going to get a revision of some kind, and they mentioned the screen or something, but still no real details. Honestly, there's no details other than that something might be happening. That's the only maybe factual detail we have, and it's even maybe because there's no facts. Nintendo hasn't announced anything. So the facts of the situation are this. Nintendo hasn't told us there's anything happening, so there's no, everything's speculation. That's the facts of a Switch revision situation. One of my top 3 games of 2018. My top 3 games overall of 2018. I guess you know what? I think this is the first year in a while I pretty much or last year was the first year in a while that I pretty much only played Nintendo, which is really weird for me. So basically, if you remember that top 10 list I made for games in, it was Starlink, Octopath Traveler, and Smash. So, if you watch my top 10 video, those were my top 3. And then number 1 was Octopath, not Smash. Smash wasn't even number 2. What should someone do first if they're thinking of becoming a YouTuber? Have an original idea for what they're going to do and practice it before they start putting it on YouTube. That's number 1. And then I did a whole live stream once giving tips on starting out on YouTube. It's not easy to do. Success only happens to a very, very tiny percent. That's what sucks is like I'm a successful YouTuber. I have a growing channel, a growing audience. I just showed you guys the viewership is growing, the sub count's growing, everything's trending like up. That's what sucks about like if I can't make this work in 3 months is because like everything's going like I'm part of that 1% that's successful on YouTube and growing. But it's life. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to keep the faith. Let's see here. Remember being sent to the corner as a kid? Yep. I remember spankings as well. Lots of spankings. Got my mouth washed out with soap a few times. Sonic Man had to go. All right, later, man. Ariel Lazarus says, "Oh, okay. I was just wondering because I sometimes just have your videos playing over and over in the background. I wasn't sure for me. I mean, I don't really know. On repeat watches of videos, I'm not 100% sure. I know watch time helps, obviously, but But can you do this playlist thing every day? Counts as new views? Yeah, especially if there's videos you haven't seen. I know a hell of a lot of you have not watched our podcast. That's why I mentioned that playlist in particular. Although I'm not at all telling you to do this. I don't actually know if it's going to really help anyways. I mean, it probably helps a little bit, but I just know there's some fans that do that for other channels. Whether or not it helps beats the hell out of me. What makes you the most money on YouTube? Well, if you want me to tell you, be completely honest with you, the most money on YouTube that I get collectively are super chats. Super chats and donations. So, like, during live streams, all the super chats and donations I get collectively usually are the most money I make. This past month, because we had that video go viral, and then I built off that viral video and got the channel to start growing a bit, or growing a lot, I should say. We actually had a lot of ad revenue in December, but that's not atypical. So, yeah, usually it's super chats. But setting aside the super chats, another got $2 from Thomas Maynard, by the way. It says, keep your head up. Thanks, man. So you have that going on. I don't know. To be honest, like videos that get 10,000, videos that basically get at least 8,000 views are the ones that I probably made like 15, 16 bucks on. And that's a good video. And if I have like 3 of those videos in a day, you know, that's what, 16, 32, $48. You times, you know, what is that? You times 48 by... So let's just say overall viewership. Like today, I showed you I had like 30,000 views today, right? So if I go, where's my calculator here? So let's just say 30,000 views. Let's say out of 30,000 views, I get, on average 20. Out of 30,000 views, on average, I would probably get, let's say, about 6. That's pushing a little high. Let's say about $50, right? Well, I'm trying to. Why is this not working? Is my keyboard stuck? Of course, it's not working. All right, let me use this. Hey, we had $3 from Corey Bohm, $3 Canadian. So what was that, like $2.20 something? Thank you so much, Corey. You know, I always appreciate the support, and thank you for upping your pledge on Patreon, by the way. We had a whole bunch of people up their pledge over the past day that were already patrons. Thank you so much. And hey, we have 63 people watching. If you would like to support what I do and make sure I can do it every single day, patreon.com/NintendoPrime is the best way to do it, because you get benefits as well for supporting, including access to our Discord server, early access to the podcast, credit when we do game reviews, which we're very close to doing game reviews literally every month. So then you're going to get your name shouted out every single month in that. You can also, if you go to high enough tier, I think $10 and up, you can get your name shouted out in a podcast as well. And you get to watch the podcast live, and you get priority on our live streams for multiplayer matches. And $20, you can be on a podcast. And someone let me know if we run out of $20 spots, because we have like 6 or 7 $20 backers, but only like ever 1 or 2 sign up every month. So I have it limited to 10. I think I might up that limit to 15 or 20, just because we haven't really had a lot of people take advantage of that. I think they just like supporting at the $20 level, which is great. So I might up the limits on that if for some reason we end up getting full. I was going to look at that calculator now. So say 50 times, say on average 30 days. I mean, that's $1,500 a month right there. Granted, 20% to the MCN and blah, blah, blah. But, that's not bad. That combined with $500, $600 on Patreon, and we're golden. If I can maintain that kind of level, of course. Maintaining it is always a problem. Glancing at Twitch chat quick here, says Nintendo better come through with the January Direct. I agree. Did I see Spawnway's video on the Wii U? No, I haven't seen that one yet. It's on my to-watch list tonight before I go to bed. Do YouTube Premium views give you more than regular ad views? I'm not sure on that. I try to look up the statistics, but I can't ever really get complete stats on what one YouTube view equals out money. Like, it's going to be pennies either way per view, but I never really figured out. I've tried to break it down, and I can't figure out if the YouTube Premium views are, like the red views, are better than, that much better than ad views or not. And a lot of it's going to depend on the CPM you're getting from your ads too. Those who don't know what CPM is, it's basically a dollar value you get per 1,000 views. The problem with that though is, like, you see, say I average like a $7 CPM, and you're like, you have 8,000 views on a video. Well, 8 times 7, that's 35. 35, that's way off, isn't that? Isn't it 45? 55? I can't math today. What the hell's wrong with me? Why can't I can't even times 7 by 8. What? 56. God, I'm so stupid. I've been stressing myself out a lot this week. Anyway, so 56. So, like, you would figure that's $56 on the video, but that's not really how it works, because, like, half of those viewers had ad blocker on. They just have it on by default in Firefox and Chrome. So, like, they didn't see ads. So, like, ad blocker still affects you on YouTube. It just affects you a little less because you're getting way more CPM than you do on, like, a website. On a traditional print media website, you're lucky to get it over $1 CPM. You're usually getting, like, 50 cents per 1,000 views. And then, you get all the ad blocks on top of that, and next thing you know, you're not really getting that much. You got to have, like, millions of views to get, a few $1,000. Let's see here. Scrolling down to the next question. It keeps jumping around a little bit. I'll go with Craig. I think he said something else. Wait, no. Oh, yeah. No, I answered that question. Okay. Make sure I answered that. Thomas Manor says, sorry he's late. I was playing Octopath Traveler. Nothing wrong with that, my man. I think once I'm done with this Let's Go Pizza, Let's Go Eevee review, I'm going to return and finish off Octopath, and then be firing up some Red Dead 2, just because I have the Xbox One X and I have Red Dead 2, Christmas related stuff, so I might as well finally give it a play. It might be featured on a future side quest episode. That's another reason why I want to play it, because it actually might lead to some content on the channel too. How old do you have to be to fund you on Patreon? I don't know. Is it 18? I don't even know. I don't even know what the age is on Patreon. You have to have a credit or debit card, I think, or a check card or something like that, or a PayPal account. If you're old enough to have any of that stuff, I don't know. You'd have to check on Patreon. I'm not actually 100%. If we get 200 patrons, Nate will dab 200 times. Oh my God. Okay, sure. I don't know why people would want to see that, but if we got 200 patrons, I'll dab 200 times. I'll do it on live stream. Like, I mean, it's a workout, right? My arms are gonna be dead, so it's a workout. It's a workout. Let's see here. Let me see here. Look for work on Amazon. Not sure how it is where you live, but in Philadelphia, it's $15 an hour. There's a lot of $15 an hour jobs out here. So, but thanks for the suggestion, Brian Chan. Finding another job really isn't an issue, When do you think we will see Pokemon Gen 8 revealed? Same time we got Pokemon before, so sometime in the summer before E3. And it's going to be its own thing, because Pokemon always unveils itself at its own thing. It doesn't. The people are like, oh, it's going to be at the January Direct. It's not going to be at the January Direct. They do not unveil Pokemon games in Directs. They do it on their own terms. The Pokemon Company has done that with every major Pokemon game, always on its own terms. So, sometime this summer. Thomas Maynor, I'm going to increase my Patreon level tomorrow morning when my direct deposit hits. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing on Patreon. I have it set to where it charges you right away. The reason I have it set to charge you right away, and then you get charged again on the first of the following month, is because that way when we hit like the $300 for the game review, right, or the $400, I think I already forgot what the order of my stuff was. I look at my own Patreon. I forget sometimes. So like say we hit the $400 goal this month, which is the side quest. Get another side quest episode out every single week. And with people getting charged right away, that means the money's already there to start doing side quests now instead of waiting until people get charged for the next month. So that's why I have it set up that way. Same for the $500 goal, which is top 3, top 5, top 10 videos. And then I know there's a huge gap between 500 and 800, but that's because I'm going to need time to get in the groove of all those shows, building up to the general gaming podcast, then building up from that to the $1,000 goal, which, gosh, I have no idea if we'll ever get to that. But if we do, that'll be 2 live news shows per week. Might even build a set for that, by the way. That would be really cool to have its own unique feel. Be a lot of fun. It's kind of like This Week in Review, but twice a week, and with a better, more unique feel, with a lot more information given for the news rather than just bringing up a topic and saying, ask me questions. You'll be able to ask questions, but there's going to be me discussing and getting into details about each specific news topic. But we're a long ways off from that, so I try not to think too much about my plans for that, but like I still have to have the plans for it because I put it on there as a stretch goal. Let's see here. Will he be able to take breaks between dabs, or does he do 200 straight though? I mean, if they make me do 200 straight though, that's what I got to do. Maybe I should start practicing for it. Start doing sets of 50 and then work up the sets of 100. Gosh, like 200 patrons would be insane. We're almost at 50, which to me is already insane. So 200 would be crazy. For a small YouTube channel I am. I don't know too many channels my size that have 200 patrons. Do you think Switch will be in trouble when PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 are released? Nah. Because PlayStation 5, unless PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 are portable, it doesn't really matter. It's not really going to affect Switch's audience. And Switch is going to have iterative... Like, Switch is going to have, like, a Pro and some iterative... Like, they're going to keep the Switch thing doing refreshes of it, I think, every 3 to 4 years for a while. So, I don't think it really matters. It's just like saying, to me, this is like saying, man, did PlayStation 4 affect 3DS? I mean, it kind of exists in its own market. So, I'm not even old enough to drive. By the time I can support you on Patreon, you'll have gray hair and a walker. Hope not. Hope I'm not getting gray hair until I'm like 50 at least. Because you're old enough to chat on YouTube, which tells me you must be older than 1. That's 18 years from now. Eric will do. He won't do the swim. He'll do the polar plunge. We actually do polar plunges in Wisconsin. If we hit 300, we'd both do the polar plunge. We would both do the polar plunge. No doubt we'd do the polar plunge. We'd have to find a safe spot to do it. Probably just be a spot where we can run in the water and run out, so we don't have to like fall through the ice and try to crawl through the ice, because that's very dangerous. But yeah, we would. Eric and I would both do the polar plunge if we hit 300. I can tell you that. If that was what people wanted us to do for 300 patrons, we would do that. I've done it. I did it one time in my life. I was like 16. Oh, it's cold, but it's okay. You're not in there very long. You literally run, dive in, get the hell out, wrap yourself up, go in a car and warm the hell up, because you don't want to die. You don't want pneumonia. You don't want frostbite. But like, it's cold. Oh, is it cold? It's worse than when Eric had to jog around the block in his swimsuit and then make a snow angel. Like, that's nothing compared to a polar plunge. You liking the new intro? Still like the old one though? That's cool. When do you think EA will announce which games are coming to Switch? I hate to say this, but if you get NHL, I'll probably won't buy NBA 2K. I'll be too consumed by NHL. I don't know if it's going to be EA, but I think we're going to get one major AAA announcement. I don't have a source for this, by the way. This is just me speculating. I think we're going to get one major AAA announcement from Ubisoft, EA, 2K, or something at the January Direct. I doubt it's going to be NHL because it's a little soon to announce that, but something. I don't know what. It's going to be something. I mean, we're getting Mortal Kombat 11 for crying out loud. So, is Erica like your girlfriend or your sister or something? Nearly kicked my ass all of a sudden. Eric didn't deserve to be punished into doing a snow angel in his boxers. It wasn't in his boxers. It was in shorts. It was his own punishment. He picked the betting special punishment and lost. Just like if I lost, we pay the Pied Piper. We don't back down. Like, we're best buds. We don't back down from our challenges and our bets. When we make a bet and somebody loses, the punishment for that loss happens 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Because we're not gonna make a bet that's gonna kill us. Like, we're not that stupid. Let's see here. Do you think Sony will try to enter the portable market again given the success of the Switch? No. Why would they enter the portable market again given the success of the Switch? Look at the success of the PlayStation 4. Look at last time they tried to get in the portable market and what happened to PlayStation 3 at launch, and then what happened to Vita when they came back around. Like, they're going to stick to what they're good at. They're very, very good at selling home consoles. They have no reason to abandon that. Sony needs the money. They're not going to get super risky with a handheld. They tried it. Didn't really work out for them. They moved on. And Sony themselves have already said they're not going to do it. Granted, companies say these things all the time, and then next thing you know, you're getting a handheld announcement. But I think Sony's done with handhelds. I don't think they're going to go handheld unless that's the only viable place in the marketplace. Most anticipated game for Switch this year? Now hold my breath for Metroid. Metroid's not announced for this year. Metroid should not even be talked about yet for this year. It does not have a release year. So no one should be expecting that this year. If we get it this year, be happy. Should be zero expectations we're going to get it this year. Look at what's already announced. There are so many games already announced for Switch this year. As for my most anticipated, Fire Emblem right now is my most anticipated. It's the one I love the most out of all the IPs coming out. Gotta go. Later, Monthly Gamer. Sony's having success in the VR market. So Sony is having success in the VR market. That's another thing. That's a market Nintendo's not really in. So that's another way to look at the fact that they're being successful. I'm just texting my fiance and seeing if my son's in bed, because I wanted to spend some time with her at night. Not that I don't mind spending time with you lovely people, of course. We're having a good time here tonight. What game would you like to see on the Switch that currently isn't available and or announced to come? Kingdom Hearts 3, Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age, Madden next year, whatever the next Assassin's Creed is, which isn't coming out for 2 years, or at least it's not coming out next year. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Ariel Lazarus, thank you for saying that about Metroid. Too many YouTubers keep saying Metroid's coming out this year just because they want it to. I don't mind if people want to talk about the games they want to come this year, right? If I made a video and said, these are the games I really want to come this year, and I would mention Bayonetta 3 and Metroid in that list, that's fine. You can talk about your wants and your desires for this year. But when you're talking about like your most anticipated games of this year, you can't anticipate something that is not currently announced for the year you're in, right? So I can say like, well, my most anticipated game for 2019 is a new Zelda game, but a new Zelda game is not announced. You can't anticipate, like you can anticipate a new game is going to be announced, but you don't know it, so you can't. It's just building a false narrative and false hope. I don't like doing that. I'm trying to be very clear. Like when I did my, 2019 is, that video I did that has like 70,000 views, 76,000 views about 2019, about Nintendo, how like Switch is set up to have a really nice 2018 because of the games primarily. I only mentioned games in there that were confirmed for this year. I might have made a mistake with Shin Megami Tensei 5. The place I got the information for Shin Megami Tensei 5 for listed 2019. But in doing more research, it looks like they never announced that it was coming in 2019. So I might have had that one game on there that wasn't a 2019 game. That's my bad, my mistake. But otherwise, all those other games that I put on there were confirmed. I purposely, I even like mentioned like, oh, why would you put this game on the list? It's not confirmed. It's probably 2020. I think right now Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 are probably 2020. But even then, when 2020 rolls around, if they still don't have a release year yet, I'm not going to just presume they're coming then. I might start worrying about if they got canceled. But, because I figure 2020's, like, they have to have games for 2020. They have so many games coming out this year. Like, not everything can come this year. They have to have games for 2020, or we're going to have another 2018 where maybe there's one major hit at the end of the year, and it's kind of dry for exclusives. Like, you don't want that to happen. Like, you don't want to have, like, every other year be where all the games come out. I know some people are going to love 2018, of course, because Smash Bros. To them is the king of all games, of course. Philip! Damn it, Nate. Keep missing your stream, so you're not missing it right now. Then again, I don't know how much longer the stream's going to last. Unless my fiance fell asleep, then I guess it really doesn't matter. But she's not texting me back, so she's either busy or she fell asleep. I was trying to see if my son was still up. I would enjoy all those. Kingdom Hearts would be new to me, though. Yeah, I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. I played one of the side games on DS or 3DS. I can't remember. Unchained Memories or something, maybe. I don't know. So I would be confused by the story, but I would probably just read the story. I'd just read like a story summary. The story so far. I'd read some summary or watch some video on it leading into 3. So then I'd be kind of caught up for 3. Because I'd really only care about the story. Like, I'm not saying I don't want to play the other games, but I really want to play, like, that Toy Story level. And, like, oh, it looks so good. Let's see here. Hey, Nate. What's up, Javit? He says, the rumor with the Switch Lite and Pro, the Lite doesn't make sense in price point, especially. There's no real rumor on the Lite, by the way, so I don't know what you're talking about. You mean the analyst who's projecting there might be a Switch Lite. He also notes in his projection that it might not be a Switch Lite. It could just be the current Switch with a price cut, which I think is the more likely option. I think if there's a slightly upgraded Pro, like, an XL or whatever, like they've done with the 3DS or the DSi, they're just going to cut the price of the OG to fit in that 3DS market. I could see them cutting it down to $300, or cutting it down to $199. Especially if they take the dock out and sell it dockless. Like maybe they do a $250 with the dock, $200 without the dock whenever a new model comes out. But again, that's me speculating on zero information. Let's see here. Bayonetta 3's... I know, Bayonetta 3's not confirmed for this year either. And we didn't see it at the Game Awards like I thought we would, which tells me it's not ready to be shown. It means Platinum Games is probably showing it off this year. Platinum Games did recently announce they have a lot of games to show off this year, so Bayonetta 3 is probably one of them, but I don't think it's coming out this year. I mean, it could. It could, of course. You know, maybe we're going to see it at the January Direct. Who knows? I mean, Nintendo knows. Nintendo knows everything. You know, there's some days that, like, I wish I could rub on a genie bottle and just pop into Reggie Fils-Aimé's head. Like, I'd say pop into, like, Shintaro Furukawa, because he can speak English, but I'm pretty sure he thinks and dreams in Japanese because he's from Japan. So I think I'd rather get into the mind of Reggie Fils-Aimé and just, oh, those are all the games coming for, like, the next 4 years, all the ones planned? Ooh, baby. I'd keep it all to myself because I don't want to get in trouble. Then again, what do you know I was even in his brain? I mean, you have to prove it. I could become the ultimate Switch leaker for the next 4 years. Oh, that's one way to blow up my channel. Start leaking things and be right every single time. Because I got inside Reggie's head. Jedi mind tricks. Let's see here. I'm so glad you get that. It's not good to claim something is definitely happening without it being confirmed. That keeps leading people getting let down. I mean, that just happens. Like, even when I talked about the leak, the rumored leak for the Nintendo Direct, which I don't even think is real, I literally admitted in the video, I'm only talking about this because I want an excuse to talk about a January Direct, because I'm excited. But I don't know what to say. So, sure, we'll use this leak as an excuse to talk about the January Direct. And, like, I'm very careful when I talk about that stuff to try to be like, hey, look, don't put a lot of stock in it. Or if I do think it's something that has a stock in it, I will say that in the video. I'll be like, hey, like, what I'm talking about here, this person, this source, like, they've been right on a lot of stuff. Like, I'll say that if I know that. There are specific sources for leaks out there that I trust. But, you know, a random post that turned out it was on 4chan, I mean, it's anonymous. How do you know what to trust with 4chan? So 4chan gets some stuff right, they get some stuff wrong. That's the whole point. It's anonymous. You don't know who's who. Let's see here. Chain of Memories was on GBA. Okay, yeah. Maybe I played it on Game Boy Advance. It was a long time ago. That's all I know. I don't even remember that much of it, to be honest. I remember there was a Keyblade. And it's like Final Fantasy mixed with Disney. But, like, I mean, that just describes the whole series. You can totally enjoy the Kingdom Hearts games without knowing the story. I played them all now, but I actually played Kingdom Hearts 2 first, and I loved it without knowing it. Yeah, but that's the thing. I like story a lot, so I would still watch a story summary leading up to the game. That's just how I would do it. Not everyone has to be that way. You could probably still enjoy it on its own, but Dragon X Machina, Yoshi's Crafted World, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion, Fire Emblem, TSA. What's TSA? There's also Mortal Kombat 11, Town. Forgot Town, the new IP by Game Freak. That's confirmed for next year as well. I had a whole list of the 2019 games. Travis Strikes Again, can't forget that. Trials Rising. Doom Eternal is a 2019 title coming to Switch. We hope it's coming to Switch. Ninjala, don't forget Ninjala. It's another one. Digimon Survive is another one. I think those are the only ones I could think of just on a quick search and off the top of my head. Oh, Team Sonic Racing, I think, too. That one's coming out in the summer, I think. But yeah. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. And a little quick Google search. I had a whole list of them. Like, I did that video. That video had, like, the list of everything I could find. So, that had confirmed dates. It would be weird if... Yokai Watch 4 is supposed to come out next year, too, exclusively on Switch. That's another one. So, there you go. That's another Switch exclusive that is coming out next year. So, supposedly coming out next year. Of course, that studio has had some layoffs lately. They don't seem to be doing too hot, but I'm sure they're going to finish off Yokai Watch 4 because I think they're hoping Switch can reinvigorate the series. Well, Switch has reinvigorated every franchise that's been put on it, so I guess it's a nice hope to have. Switch is proven to like sell things in crazy numbers. It's because they have the right audience on Switch. They grabbed the adult audience that they lost a long time ago. That's what Switch grabbed. And because it grabbed that adult audience, all of these games they're releasing in their franchise are selling at record levels. Smash sold at record levels. Let's Go is the one that didn't really hit record levels. Still sold well. But some people consider it a spin-offs. I don't know. Wherever you want to categorize that, that's like the exception. But like Octopath outsold expectations and crushed what Bravely Default and stuff was doing. Mario Tennis Aces became the fastest-selling Mario Tennis game of all time. Kirby Star Allies became one of the fastest-selling Kirby games of all time. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe outsold Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. Super Mario Odyssey is the fastest or largest, or it is the game that has sold the most of all the 3D Mario games. Breath of the Wild is the highest-selling Zelda game of all time. Like, it's consistently happening on Switch. Like Splatoon 2 outsold Splatoon 1. Like every single game from Nintendo that releases on Switch becomes the best-selling in that franchise. It's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe somehow topples the king and becomes the best-selling Mario game of all time. It wouldn't even shock me at this point, and that's crazy. It's like 50 million plus units. It's crazy. It's got to beat like the OG NES Mario. Crazy. But you know what? I'm not putting anything past it at this point. Everything sells on Switch. So whether or not it's a fantastic game or a little bit of a letdown, it doesn't matter. It has that old school, current school, every school of Nintendo fan ever, and we're just buying everything. And it's awesome. Nintendo hasn't had an audience like this in God, maybe ever. Maybe the SNES. Maybe they had an audience like that on SNES that just bought everything in droves. Like Luigi's Mansion 3, probably going to become the best-selling Luigi's Mansion ever. Animal Crossing, probably going to outsell New Leaf. Like Fire Emblem Three Houses, it's going to outsell Fire Emblem Fates, which is the current best-selling Fire Emblem game. Like, it's crazy. And if none of those games, like I won't be surprised if Pokemon, the 8th gen on Switch becomes the best-selling Pokemon game ever. Like, it's crazy what's happening on Switch right now, man. This is uncharted territory even for Nintendo. That like everything they put out just works, even if there's gaps. Like they went where there was a lot of Wii U ports last year and blah blah blah, and all those gaps, and they're still shattering records. So I don't know what Nintendo got their ace in the hole. Let's just say that. Oh. All right. I'm just texting my fiance there. She's like literally. Well, no, she is that way. Our room is on the other side of this wall upstairs. So. I guess you can't see the wall, so that doesn't really help give you a good visual. What's my New Year's resolution? Well, I didn't make one, but I guess my New Year's resolution is to make Nintendo Prime the only job I need, the only job I want. The only job that I'm going to need to support me and my family. Which means I'm hitting the grindstone hard this year, especially the next 3 months, since the next 3 months kind of determine if that resolution can come true. Here's hoping. I'm really hoping here. Let's see here. I don't remember that much. Literally, that's literally the plot of Chain of Memories. Is it really? Who do you think's going to the Super Bowl? Gosh. I'm just going to say who I want to go rather than who's going to go. I want the Chargers to go. I want Antonio Gates to get his ring. So I want them to win the Super Bowl. From the NFC side, I think it would be a really neat story for the Eagles to go back to the Super Bowl even if they lose. I just think that would be such a cool story. Plus, it kind of sticks it to the Vikings even more that they had to lose on the final game to not get in. And I hope the Bears get bounced right away too. But I mean, that's because I'm a Packer fan. Let's just be honest. Nary Tower of Shirin. There's so much awesome world building and great characters. Nice. Is that on Switch at all? Or is that like a classic game on another platform? Or is that on Xbox? I have an Xbox One X, so I could pick it up on that, or PC. Probably on PC. If it's an indie game, everything's on PC. Almost everything's on PC, I should say. Not quite everything. I don't have a PlayStation 4, so if it's like an exclusive to that platform, I'll have to wait to pick that one up. Switch is on fire right now. It is, dude. It's crazy. Favorite indie I've ever played? Probably Golf Story so far. I love Golf Story. It's everything I wanted Mario Golf to become that Mario Golf never became. Let's see here. Should I get the Nintendo Switch or a 2DS XL? I mean, my default answer is always going to be Switch. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with a 2DS because there's thousands of amazing games on 2DS. Like, I can't tell you're going to go wrong playing the back catalog of 3DS games. There's so many of them. But I've done that already. So, like, for me, it's like it's Switch or nothing. I don't really care that much about 3DS anymore. But I can't tell you not to pick up one because there's so many good games on it. And that's what feels weird the past year and a half. It feels like all I've done the past year and a half is bash 3DS because as a Switch owner, I want them to stop supporting 3DS. So games like Luigi Mansion, like the remastered one, could have came out on Switch instead. But realistically, 3DS and 2DS, it's a fantastic platform with a lot of amazing games. Absolutely, like pick that up if there's a lot of games on there you want to play. And they're cheaper. They're cheaper than Switch. So, let's see here. Scrolling on down here. Yeah, dude, Smash outsold the PlayStation Network cards on Amazon. Isn't that nuts? I put a story about... I didn't do a video on that, but I put a story about that up on NintendoPrime.net. That's so crazy. Crazy to me, anyways. Thoughts on Milwaukee being first in the East? Where is it? Oh, my Milwaukee Bucks hat. Where did I put it? No! I mean, there's my Giannis jersey. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm a big Bucks fan, so I'm a big Wisconsin Forts fan in general, so I'm pretty excited. This is potentially the best Bucks team in history. It's the best the Bucks have been since the 71 championship team. So we'll see if they can finish it off. Long ways to go still. We got another half a season to go plus the playoffs. I'm going to a playoff game this year. If it looks like they're going to win in the first round, like it's not going to be like a long series, then I'll probably go to the second round. If it looks like they're going to go to the second round and go to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals, then I'll go to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if it looks like basically if they start dominating the entire playoff run and then go to the finals, I'm going to a finals game. But I mean, I might go to a finals game anyways, even if I went to one prior, just because I've never had an opportunity to go to like a championship game for the Packers, for the Bucks, and the Brewers, because I mean, if the Brewers would have made the World Series this year, as an example, or last year, I should say, I would have went to the World Series. I went to the divisional round, but I would have went to the World Series if they would have made it. But even though it's really expensive, it'd be expensive for the Bucks too, and it's a 3+ hour drive for me, and you basically have to spend the night because you don't get out of there until like 1 a.m. Charger Rams Super Bowl. I mean, could happen. Quit picking on the Vikings. Corey, come on. I mean, you could pick on the Packers. You had a better record than the Packers. At least you had a chance to go to the playoffs, right? I mean, you're still stuck with Kirk Cousins, but I mean, I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins isn't even a bad quarterback. You just need to design the offense differently to take advantage of Kirk Cousins. But anyways, let's see here. You wish Epic Yarn was coming to Switch? It might. I don't know. Like every Wii U exclusive game is gonna, I think, come to Switch eventually. They're gonna spread those ports out. Man, you guys are arguing about footage of some game. Jeez. Giannis for MVP. I can't wait to go to that playoff game and be like MVP. Like I don't know. If someone surprises me with tickets to a regular season game, I'll go. But I usually it's a 3-hour trip. Like it takes a lot of planning to go on a trip like that. Neri's a brand new game. Part 1's out for $9.99. They are developing the other 2 parts currently. However, it's still worth getting into now, so no worries. So awesome. What platform is it on that I can pick it up on? I'll you know what? I'm gonna copy the name of that, so I'll look it up later. I'll put it in a little document here, and I'll look that game up later. I'll figure it out. You don't have to give me information on it. I'll figure it out. Decide if I want to take a look at it. I don't pick up a ton of indie games because I just don't have time. I barely have time to play the games I have. I already have a back catalog on Switch I need to go back through. That might even be a goal this year with certain live streams where I only play back catalog games for like a month or two just to try to get them out of the way. Pikmin 3 to Switch. That would be nice, yeah. I think it's going to come to Switch. Probably come to Switch around the time they bring Pikmin 4. Miyamoto, I am literally imagining me staring at you through this camera lens right now. Pikmin 4. It's time to dust it off from the Wii U, bring it over, and while you're at it, bring Pikmin 3 with it. My fiance wants it. She's been begging me for Pikmin games on Switch, but I don't make them. So, it's not up to me. Not up to me. You can now go to jail for hacking your Switch in Japan. That's crazy. I don't hack my Switch. I don't have to worry about it, but that's crazy. Pikmin 3 they must have like different consumer laws in Japan. Pikmin 3 is the best Wii U game. It's a really good game. I don't know that it's the best Wii U game. I mean, Breath of the Wild's on Wii U. But Pikmin 3 is really good. It'll come maybe way later. Is damn near the best Wii U game. Maybe that's a better way to put it. There's a lot of good games on Wii U though, man. Tropical Freeze was on Wii U. Oh, so good. I honestly really like Zombie U a lot. I know it went to other platforms, but man, Zombie U was good on Switch. Lots of good games on Switch. Switch had a lot of really awesome games. It's just they were so far spread out that it just never felt like it had that big collection, you know. We're less than 4 weeks out from Kingdom Hearts 3. It'll be months down the line. Oh yeah, like if Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming to Switch, it ain't coming this month. Like it's gonna come. It'll be later this year if it comes at all. Granted, I don't think we're getting Kingdom Hearts 3 on Switch, but I mean it would be cool. Dude, Mario Maker also like that. I know it's also on 3DS, but let's not talk about the bastardized 3DS version. They took out the primary component of the game. Without the online aspect, it might as well not exist. Wii U is the true Mario Maker. That game is so good. And the thing is, I suck at platforming, so like I'm not good at all those custom-made platforming games, but it was hella fun making my own. There he's a Switch and PC only. Okay, cool. Thanks, Philip. Bro, think of 3D Mario Maker. What the hell? That would be crazy if you could do if you could make your own 3D Mario levels. Like even if it was only like the N64 graphic style they could make work for it, I don't care. Give me that cube grid-based 3D goodness and let me start placing items and making my own crazy platforming because I want to. Dude, a 3D Mario Maker would go nuts. Like Mario Maker actually sold really, really well. So like a 3D Mario Maker, oh baby. What do you think would have made the Wii U successful? Nothing. What would have made the Wii U successful is to not exist. Instead, release a Wii HD in 2010. I made a video on this last year. Release a Wii HD in 2010 that automatically up-reses all of the Wii library, fully backwards compatible natively. It is just a Wii, But at Xbox 360 power in HD, you're getting all the modern games now. You're not fracturing or confusing consumers because everyone knows this is just the Wii in HD, and you're just going to get the third-party games for a few years, and you're going to be able to still play all your old Wii games in the best possible resolutions you can. Done deal. Game over. That thing probably would have sold 20 or 30 million units and would have been a nice tweener console until Switch. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They could have just extended the life of the Wii. But there's nothing I think they could have done with Wii U to make it successful except for it not to be a Wii U. To not to have the tablet, to not be an Xbox 360 in power, to not, it would have needed to be a PlayStation 4, and Nintendo wasn't going to do that. So, Wii U just shouldn't exist. They should have just did Wii HD and kept doing the Wii HD until the Switch was ready. Ideally. Now, there's a question, would Switch exist without the Wii U? It's a fair question. We don't know the answer to that. There's a lot of videos out there presuming that Wii U led to Switch, but we don't technically know that at all. So, either way, in an ideal world, Wii HD in 2010, like Michael Pachter of all people kept saying needed to happen. I think he was actually right. I think Wii HD, especially in hindsight, would have been amazing in 2010. But what are you gonna do? I talked about that last year. A what if scenario if Wii HD was a thing in 2010 instead of Wii U in 2012. What's my favorite Sega Genesis game? Rampart. That was quick, huh? Bet you didn't think I had a favorite game on there. I owned Sega Genesis for a few years. Rampart. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Fun game. It's like tower control before there was tower control games. Jay Taylor, thank you so much for subscribing. I really love your content. Thanks for giving us so much. You're welcome, man. I try really, really hard. A lot of effort goes into my stuff. I don't know if it always comes across that a lot of effort's going into my stuff, but I try to put a lot of effort into my stuff. When I first heard about the Wii U, I legit thought it was just a new controller accessory for the Wii. It took me an embarrassing long time to realize it was a new console. So instead, it just shouldn't have existed. There's so much they would have needed changed for it to be a success that it wouldn't even be Wii U anymore. So, and I liked Wii U. It's not like I bought all the exclusives. I played everything on that platform. It's a good system, but I traded it in to pay for my Switch. I don't feel shame in that. Especially now the Switch is getting all the Wii U games anyways. Ever play Fossil Fighters? No. I know what the game is, though. Yeah, I know what the game is. But I didn't play it myself. Did you see my suggestion on your Lost Job video about you dressing up in drag and becoming a Twitch thought at night? Not happening. For starters, the idea of mocking anyone, regardless of your opinions on how they make money or what they do, makes me get disgusted. I didn't say that to you, of course, because I didn't want you to feel bad at the time, but I'm not gonna go become popular by dressing in drag, which is embarrassing, by the way. And at least embarrassing for me. It's not embarrassing for everyone, but it's not my cup of tea. And mocking, thoughts, which I hate the word thought. I think it's a stupid word. Just because there's a good-looking chick who's, potentially using her body to get popular on Twitch and make money, unless they're actually getting naked and basically performing webcam sex services, I don't even know that thought's a good description for them. It's just a derogatory term for somebody taking advantage of the fact that people think they're beautiful. Here's the deal. If I could just stream and make a living because people thought I'm beautiful, because if I lower this down and wear V-necks and show you my man boob cleavage, if that could give me and make a living, I'd freaking do it too. Why the hell not? Pay me to be beautiful. That doesn't make me a hoe. I'm not sleeping around with a bunch of people. I have 3 kids and a fiance, but people want to pay me to show a little cleavage and maybe a little crack in the back. you know, show a little belly button off. I mean, blow a little kiss at the camera. Sweet. Money, money, money. Pay up. Like, that's why I hate, like, I don't even like getting into that crap. I'm not saying I agree with women doing it, but the bottom line is they're free to do what they want. If Twitch allows it, let it go. It's fine. It is what it is. There's limits to it. The ones that cross the limit get banned. So I don't even, it's a whole world that I have no interest in. Let me see here. Angry App says, I saw you on Spawn Wave and decided to sub to you this week. Thanks so much, Angry App. That was fun being on Spawncast. I hope to get on again. I should let him know I want to come on sometime this month and see if he's got any room one of these weeks. He's probably already full up for this Saturday, but I could tweet at him or DM him and see if he's got space for any of the casts this week. I think he enjoyed having me as well. And I loosened up as the cast went on, you know, kind of let my nerves down of not knowing when it was like he by the way, he does a great job as a host, like dragging people in. He made sure I was not going to be left out of any conversation. So that was great. That's what the best podcast hosts do when they have guests on, is they drag the guest in because they know sometimes the guests aren't sure when they should inject themselves. And then I started injecting myself as we went on, which is what happens naturally once you get comfortable. So it was fun. I enjoy that podcast. I enjoy that crew. Some of them I've known for a while, Player Essence and Dreamcast Guy in particular. Good stuff. I enjoy that show, and hopefully I'll be on several more this year. It'd be nice to become a regular, but I don't know that I could commit to every Saturday. Every other Saturday? That's a possibility, but every Saturday is a bit much. Ooh. Just dropped a screwdriver on my keyboard and messed with the chat. Let's see here. So there's nothing they could have done to make the Wii U a GameCube level success. I mean, the GameCube wasn't a success either, so no. No, they would have needed to release a completely different system. And even then, they wouldn't have done what would have needed to be done to be successful, so Wii HD in 2010 what it should have, like in hindsight, should have been what they did. Is it weird to you that there are still games coming out for Wii today like Just Dance? No, the system sold 100 million units, and for games like Just Dance, there's still grandmas and grandparents and some family members that only have a Wii. That's the thing about Blue Ocean strategy. It's the one thing that Nintendo never thought about with Blue Ocean. The idea with a Blue Ocean strategy is brilliant. You basically catch lightning in a bottle, right? And you appeal to an audience that normally your products would not appeal to. That's what happens with Blue Ocean. And you move hundreds of millions of units. They moved 101 million, the Wiis. The problem with that is the Blue Ocean strategy doesn't work back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Why doesn't it work back to back to back? Because the Blue Ocean strategy is where you're getting the super casual people in buying the system, right? The people who haven't bought a game system maybe since NES or ever, right? They're the ones that pick it up and make it like massively successful beyond the usual 30-40 million crowd. And that crowd of people, they don't just buy the next system. They're happy with their Wii. They're happy with their Wii and their handful of games, and they don't go and buy the next system. So, they're not looking to... They're still playing. They're not looking to replace it. They're still playing the Wii. They don't have a reason to replace it. They don't buy all the latest games. They don't even buy a game every year. So, yeah, that's the problem with the Blue Ocean strategy in the video game spheres. It could work to massive success, but you're not going to carry that audience over. You have to build a more core consumer base. And that core consumer base is what they've nailed with Switch right now. They have nailed that core. I don't know. I mean, I know how they did it. I don't know if Nintendo knows how they did it. But I know how they did it. It was a combination of a brilliant marketing campaign combined with a brilliant concept for a system, easy to understand system, and appealing to adults. And it's something that Nintendo... I don't even know if Nintendo knew how to do that anymore. And even to this day, like you saw them in 2018. What was their message in 2018? Okay, so we got the core audience, and now we got to expand our audience with Labo, and we got to get the casuals and go Blue Ocean. And it's like, no, you don't. You absolutely do not need to do that because they're not going to buy the system. That's the point of the Blue Ocean. They're still playing Wii. They're still playing Wii and DS. They're not interested. They don't care. That's the thing about that crowd. What you want to do is keep capturing. Like, I bet you there's probably over 100 million fans of Nintendo products or people who have bought Nintendo products in the past that love them and haven't in a while. That's the crowd you go after, and that's the crowd they hit with Switch. And I think they underestimated how big that crowd is. The crowd's huge. Switch could sell 100 million units without ever using a Blue Ocean strategy. And I don't think Nintendo, like, the success of Switch right now is completely on the back of core Nintendo fans and or lapsed Nintendo fans coming back to them, right? That's basically been the base they've been getting with Switch. And I'm not to say there isn't some new Nintendo fans joining as well. That happens every generation. But it's like, that's what's happening with Switch. And Nintendo doesn't know how they did it. That's why they're trying to go Blue Ocean, because Nintendo doesn't know, they don't know what to do with this. Nintendo, like, Sony knows how to do it consistently. Nintendo doesn't. They've never seen a system get this successful this quickly, not being a Blue Ocean system. The NES was kind of a Blue Ocean system. The Wii was a Blue Ocean. They don't know what to do. They haven't figured out why this is working. They just know it is. So, I'm not complaining because we're getting some awesome games, especially this year. There's a lot of awesome games coming. Cross my fingers that they turn out awesome. I guess a lot of potentially awesome games this year. Because they're not here yet. You can't really judge the game until it comes out. Like Mortal Kombat 11, there's some people that are excited for it, some people that aren't. We really don't know if the game's going to be good until it gets here. Same with Fire Emblem, same with Animal Crossing. I mean, it could be great, could be not. Yeah. A jab at the shit show that is Twitch at the same time. There's a lot of good things going on Twitch. I mean, if you're going to take a jab, the shit show going on Twitch, I mean, there's plenty of shit shows right here on YouTube. I mean, come on. There's it's not like it's any better over here. Let me just say that. You could be an average looking girl and get on Twitch and make a living. I mean, sure. I don't know what average looking is though. Like, I think my fiance's a 10. But I mean, I'm obviously biased because I love the hell out of her. So everyone's average compared to her. The other hottest girl in the world that is a celebrity crush. Now I can't remember her name. Why can I not remember her name? Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Hold on. Scarlett Johansson. She's the other person I think is like one of the hottest people on the planet. She's like a 6 compared to my fiance in my head. So like, I'm not probably a good person to ask about who's average and who's not, because like 6 is pretty close to average, right? So I don't know. Like, not the person to talk to about that stuff. Eric is single, and tries to talk to me about all these girls he thinks are attractive all the time, and I'm like, she's all right. And it's probably like a 9 or a 10 for some people. And I'm just like, It's not my fiance. So I mean, compared to my fiance, it's I mean, you can maybe creep to a 7 if I squint. I guess that's maybe what happens when you're in love or something. I don't know. Guess I wouldn't know. Because it's the first time I've ever been in love like this. So, let's see here. I'm Nintendo Prime noob. Oh, Angry App is new to Nintendo Prime. Yeah. Obviously, he just joined this week. Nothing wrong with that. I don't care if you're someone who just joined. Like, I don't care if you are Miles of the Master Race who just subscribed 4 minutes ago, or if you're someone who's been here for years. You're all amazing, and I appreciate you guys choosing to subscribe and watch my content, even if you chose to subscribe because of the giveaways. It's fine. You discovered the giveaways because you watched my content. So it all works. It's like a happy world, right? Everyone should be happy. You're watching my content, which is awesome, and you have a chance to win something, which is awesome. And then you subscribe, which gives you a shot to watch even more of my content. So everyone wins, right? I mean, obviously, there's only one winner of the giveaway, but whatever. You still won because you discovered an awesome YouTuber, right? I hope. I mean, I don't really think I'm that great as a YouTuber, but a lot of people keep telling me that they really enjoy my stuff, and that's awesome. I enjoy making this stuff, so that's the only thing I can tell you. I really enjoy what I do here. Doesn't mean I think I'm great at it. I watch other YouTubers that I think are way better. But hey, I ain't complaining. Maybe it's that humbleness. Maybe that's part of why I'm successful, because I don't really think I'm that great at what I do. So that's why I'm always striving to get better. I have that drive to, like, I see these other YouTubers that I think are so much better, and I'm like, I gotta get there. I gotta get to that level. I gotta keep striving. I gotta keep getting better. Find new ways to do things. Improve my content. Let's see here. My dog gaining subs. Was Labo a failure? I mean, they're still making new Labo kits. It definitely wasn't a complete failure. It sold like 1.2, 1.3 million units at the beginning. So it wasn't a total flop. I don't still think Labo was as big as they thought it was going to be. I think they thought Labo had a shot at like 4 or 5 million. But I mean, it found a crowd. It just, one thing is, I've heard that they're like making partnerships with schools now, and I always thought Labo would be a good educational tool. So I think that was always the way to go. They should have went with education first, then mass consumers. But, you know, you don't really, you don't. I'm not working at Nintendo, so like I don't know if anyone in their group of testers at the time told them, hey, this would be great as like an education tool in schools. I don't know if anyone at Nintendo even had that thought cross their mind. Let's see here. Peter Alarcon says, to be fair, Nintendo kind of needed to take a break in 2018 for 2019 to be so great. Not even Nintendo has enough IPs to have a big one come out every month forever. Do you know how many IPs Nintendo has control of? Nintendo doesn't even use most of their IPs. Fun fact, Nintendo has control of like over 200 IPs. You telling me that if they had all those IPs in active development, they couldn't have, you know, some really nice games coming out every year? Of course they could. They're not going to. The Nintendo's greatest asset to them that keeps them massively profitable even when things aren't going well is also one of their downfalls when things are going well. It is that they don't expand their teams and they don't make new teams, and they just like they'll hire like 1 or 2 people, but they don't like bring on 100 new employees, 100 new developers to start working on, you know, a few different IPs. They just don't do that, and because they don't do that, it takes longer to make their games and get more games out. But because of that, and because they have such a low employee turnover rate, because they don't hire like temporary contract employees usually for this stuff, especially in Japan, it leads to them keeping their cost of development down, which in turn leads to them still being profitable even when Wii U is what is happening. When the Wii U and 3DS, which were technically the worst selling generations of handheld and home console, happen, they're still able to maintain profitability because they keep their development costs down. But when Switch is blowing up right now, it would be amazing if they would like bring on 1,000 new developers and start bringing back all these IPs and getting them out faster. But they would take massive advantage of Switch right now. But when the next system comes along, and if it's not as successful, carrying those extra 1,000 employees suddenly makes Nintendo not profitable. So it goes against what Nintendo believes in, because they would have to let those employees go to maintain profitability. And Nintendo doesn't like doing that. They like adding permanent additions to the team. So it's kind of a bugaboo. It's a blessing for Nintendo and like a bugaboo when they're super successful, because they could be doing more. But they're not going to, because they're not like Western studios where they'll temporarily bring in people. And it's kind of good they don't do that. But then again, the culture in the West is different. You know, even Retro Studios has temporary employees. You know, you sign on for a game. So, but again, it's a Western studio that Nintendo owns, so I guess it's different. Can I show you the white Nintendo Switch? I don't have a white Nintendo Switch. I have a white backplate on my Nintendo Switch. I have a custom white backplate that I need to replace because it's cracked. But I got a custom white backplate on my Switch. I can't show you it right now because it's upstairs in my room. Chris Fullweiler asked me on another stream and usually I have it down on my dock, but it's upstairs in my room right now. Ask me in another stream, and I'll literally pop it off and show you. It's pretty cool looking. Pretty cool looking. I mean, I do have shells for the white shells for the Joy-Cons back there that I never popped on. But yeah, it looks pretty sweet. I'm gonna replace it with a different one because like my son cracked it, but it's whatever. I don't know what backplate I'm gonna go with next. We'll see. It's really not that hard to switch out the backplates though. It was a little confusing the first time because it was the first time I took apart the Switch. But now that I've done it, it's just knowing what screws you have to take out and what screws you don't need to take out. But I figured it out. Clear doesn't like it's like a metal plate on the back. Like clear doesn't really look that good in my opinion. Some people might like that. Let's see here. Oh, it's really cute that you love her so much that she's the most beautiful one. Yeah, I don't know if she thinks it's so cute. Because she thinks so low of herself that every time I tell her how beautiful she is, or how no one in the world compares to her, it sounds sweet and everything, but to her she's like, God, that's annoying. You don't think anyone's better? Like I think all these like, that's part of self-esteem. Like when you think so low of yourself, like just because somebody thinks you're amazing, you can't see it, so it's hard to even take the compliment. What are you gonna do? I mean, I don't think that great of myself either. Granted, she doesn't think I'm the hottest guy in the world, so she's with me for my personality, my eyes, and my smile. Far more important than looks. So, awesome. Go back over on. Oh, we don't have any questions on Twitch. I was just double checking on Twitch to see if there's any updated questions. Well, maybe we should start wrapping that up. Hey Nate, you used to be hot. You talk about that picture I showed from high school? Peter Alicron, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Kind of forgot about the big series like Earthbound, Advance Wars, Golden Sun, Star Tropics, 1080 snowboarding. Nintendo owns the rights to that. Snowboard Kids, Nintendo owns the right to that. Nintendo owns a ton of IPs. It's all on Wikipedia if you want to look it up sometime. I don't know how up to date the list is, but there's a ton of games on there. A ton of IPs. Do I play Fortnite? Yes, I do. Taylor Bowen says, hey Nate, just wanted to say your video today on the Switch Analyst was one of your best on-camera, non-scripted videos. Nice work. Thanks. I don't know what I did that made that so awesome, but thanks. I mean, I'm glad I'm getting better. I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird, but I don't know what I did to make it so good, but thanks. Dude, you deserve the best. Thank you so much. All right, we'll be signing out here. I guess I'll give you guys 4 more minutes. We'll sign out at 10:15 p.m. Before I get to that, you guys can keep asking questions till today. I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. There's been a massive outpouring of support and kind words to me over the last 24 hours. For those who don't know, I lost my primary source of income, lost one of my jobs on January 1st, yesterday, I guess. And I lost it late, right before I live streamed. And that job was what enabled me to do YouTube every day. And YouTube is my dream job. This is what I want to do. This is what I want my career to be. And we're on a nice trajectory, but I'm still like a year and a half away from really hitting that comfort space. And because of that, I'm heavily reliant on fan support, on super chats, on donations. And in particular, what I'm trying to push now is Patreon. And I want to thank you guys. Like, we've gained on Patreon... yesterday we were at like $180 on Patreon. Today we're at $280. Like, that's insane to me. We have gained like 9 new patrons over the last 24 hours, which is just awesome. And we've had current patrons realize, hey, you know what? I can up my pledge. I can afford it. It's not a big deal. And it's just stunning. And it's not even just like the Patreon support and the super chats like we had tonight. It's also, all the kind words people said, like, dude, don't give up on your dreams. It's not just like the selfish, you always have like the selfish comments, like, I love your content. I don't ever want to see you go away. You're my favorite YouTuber. Like, those are kind things to hear, but it's also kind of like, well, I mean, my family comes first. But it's nice seeing that like there's this big outpouring of people wanting me to be successful, people wanting me to attain my dream, and some people willing to put their money up for it to even make it possible. We're still a long ways away, even on Patreon, to get there. We need to like, double up the money on Patreon from where we are now, to even get to the point where I can start being a little less stressed about how 3 months from now I might have to make the tough choice of getting a different job. But it's been incredible. You guys are my driving force to make this channel amazing. If you are one of those people that's been kind of teetering on whether or not you want to support me through Patreon, or you didn't even know we had one, it's patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. There's a link to it down in the description on YouTube. If you're on Twitch and you would like the link, just let me know, and I'll toss it. I think there's a link to it on Twitch, actually. We literally $1 a month is all it takes to support us on there, and you get access to our Discord server. And then obviously just my sincere thank you for that. We have other tiers. There's $5 to give you early access to the podcast. $10 you can watch the podcast. Well, $5 also gives you a thank you credit at the end of any game review I do. And then $10 gets you to watch the podcast through a live stream. And I don't know, but just like, you can go look at it. There's a lot. I have a lot of stretch goals. We're really close to hitting our game review stretch goal, and then it's side quest, and then it's top 10s, top 3s, then it's a new podcast, then it's a live news show. Like, we have a lot of ambitious goals on that Patreon that, maybe we'll get there this year. I have no idea. You guys have really lifted up my spirits. Even though it doesn't change reality, it doesn't bring my old job back, it doesn't suddenly give me all the money that I need to keep pushing forward. It's encouraging, and I can't thank you enough for that. I've said this many times in the past, but I'll say it again now. I feel like I have the best community on YouTube. I really do. This community sent me to E3 last year. Me and Eric to E3 last year. This community, and they did it because you guys wanted me to make content there. You guys wanted to make content there so bad, you sent me to E3. This community got these microphones. This community, I bought the mixer. I bought a lot of the stuff actually here. But this community got the laptop that I used to edit when I was at E3. This camera came from the community. The capture card, because my capture card died, came from the community. This has been a massively community-supported channel, both from money, both from likes, both from kind words, both from subscribers, and just you guys in the chat right now. I don't know what you're saying, but thank you. It means a lot to me, and you guys are the reason I want to make this my career. Without you guys, I don't know that I would actually enjoy this like I do. I enjoy this more than most things in my life. Not everything, of course. There are things more important, but it is a pleasure and an honor to do this for you guys. So hopefully, over the next 90 days, we hit where we need to hit on Patreon. We get the growth we need at the channel, and this thing just keeps trucking forward for the rest of 2019. Let me just glance at the chat a little bit here. Even if you fail, you can at least say you tried your best. Well, of course. Taylor Bowen says, you're really good off the cuff. I think it's way better than the scripted videos. I've often thought you'd be a great radio host. You're just good at talking about the things you know. Yeah. Obviously. I think what's cool, I actually thought about making a stretch goal be like a little radio, like do like a little where I'm not on camera, right? Do like a little 2-hour radio show. I always thought that'd be kind of cool. Have users call in and comment on things. Make it like a sports talk radio, but about video games. I always thought that'd be kind of neat. It'd be unique. I don't think there's a lot of places that do that, but yeah, I think the thing is, it's funny you say that. My scripted videos are the ones that get the most views. I mean, the ones that take the most time, so it's nice they get the most views, but I think a combination of the scripted and off the cuff is what I enjoy. Like I give both sides. Some people enjoy the scripted, some enjoy off the cuff. You get both. I'm not like everything is scripted, and I'm not everything is off the cuff. Most is off the cuff, but there is scripted stuff. Reviews are scripted. The editorials I'm going to be making every week, those are scripted. I am currently working on an editorial. Now that we passed $200 on Patreon last night, I'm working on an editorial now for this week because now I have to do an editorial every week. It's a video editorial, by the way. So you guys, it's an op-ed video editorial. So you guys get to enjoy that. So that I can't wait to get that one out. Let me see here. Well, if his quality did improve, maybe I'll watch his videos in the future. Most of his videos are boring overall. Maybe it's because it's scripted. I don't know what you're talking about. I assume that's not me since most of my videos aren't scripted. Yeah, Nate, don't go to E3 this year. I've decided against trying to fan fund a trip to E3 this year. Just because now the focus has to be on making this channel as big a success as I can. And pushing people to become patrons rather than donating large sums of money. Or upping their pledges. That's kind of my focus this year for that stuff. If I do go to E3 this year, it'll be because I take out a business loan for it, if I'm completely honest. And we'll see. That's the decision I can't make until I know if I'm making it. Let me see here. Ariel Lazarus says, if my new job works out and I start making money again, I'll definitely support you on Patreon. Nice. I only haven't before because I've been unemployed. Yeah, you told me that, I think, before. Yeah. I think you told me that before, Ariel. I totally understand. Amadeus says, I fell asleep listening to your stream last night because I'm an hour ahead in the stream. How long did you keep streaming? Till 1:30 a.m.? Something like that. On my time, so it would have been 2:30 your time. That would make up a lot of the lost money. Not really. If you think about it, that trip that was funded for E3 last year, which was awesome and amazing, I got all that money specifically because it was for E3. That money wouldn't have just turned around and came to my pocket without it being for E3. There were like a $1,500 donation and a $1,000 donation that happened last year, specifically for E3. If I wasn't raising money for E3, those donations wouldn't have happened. So it's not like the money would have just been there if I didn't go to E3. The money was there because I was going to E3. Does that make sense? People were donating for E3. They weren't donating just to donate. Anyways, it's all good. Live stream Fortnite. I do live stream Fortnite sometimes, Chris. Not all the time, but sometimes. More often than a lot of other games. Damian Cianci. Thank you so much for subscribing. I like all the videos, just non-scripted your favorite. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's fine. And good for your sake. I have a lot of non-scripted. Sorry to hear the news today. Wrath of Math says, hoping your channel and Patreon gets where it needs to be in the next 3 months. Best of luck. Keep at it. You deserve the growth you need. Thanks, man. Don't go to Eat Not Working. Okay, so I'm at A. The loan thing it's interesting. When I'm talking about a loan, it's not your typical loan. Most loans have interest rates, blah, blah, blah. The loan that I qualify, because I have really crappy credit, but I have a really amazing reputation with PayPal. So the loan I can get is a PayPal loan. Basically, they charge you a one-time fee. It's like $100, and they just add that onto your loan, and you don't get any interest. And all you do is you pay like a percentage of all revenue that goes to PayPal until that loan is paid off. I know that because I took out a loan this summer when I had surgery from them to do it. And I'm still paying it off, but I'm almost done paying it off already. And I didn't pay any interest. Besides obviously the fee. That's where they make their money. They make their money on the fee. But I qualified for that loan because I have so much money that goes in and out of PayPal all the time that I'm considered, a pristine business partner PayPal member. They don't really care what your credit history is because they know I have money coming in all the time. So, yeah, that's what I did, and that was. But again, I can't make that kind of decision unless I know I've made it as a YouTuber, because obviously that affects my income in the future. For like the rest of 2019 to pay that off. But I mean, it's okay. Like if we're doing awesome, sweet. Interest is morally and will in the future. Like I wish all loans work the way that this one did, where it's like, look. We'll give you a $50,000 house loan. We'll charge you $2,000 initially as your fee. But then all money that comes, like you get it from a bank, all the money you put in your bank, any money that gets deposited into your bank, you can decide between a 2% fee, a 4%, a 10%, or a 25%, right? Something like that. And then you could choose your own fee, so every time money goes in, it just takes a cut off the top before your money even hits your bank. Kind of like another tax on your income, except that tax is paying off your loan. That, I think, that's what PayPal basically does. That, I think, is awesome. Like, I've never even seen a loan like the way PayPal's doing it before. It's I don't even know what kind of loan it's called. I'm sure someone else has done it before. It's awesome. But that's just not the way. It's not the way they do. Speaking of PayPal, they must love me. I use PayPal every time PayPal is accepted. Yeah. I use PayPal a lot of places. I mean, I have to be careful because it is my business account, so all the charges, like, I have to separate, like, if, say I use my PayPal card to get something, to get milk and stuff for my kids. I have to kind of keep note of that and keep track of the receipt because I have to take that, I have to separate that money out because that wasn't a business expense, right? Like, a gallon of milk wasn't for the business. I like to argue, oh, it's for the office. It's for the one person in the office. I got to have my milk. Anyways, don't go to E3. Follow is advice in that you're better off till you have a few man crew, maybe exclusive interviews. Otherwise, your channel will grow better at the time. Just kicking home. What I will say is, the outside of the period I'm in now, the second best period of growth my channel ever had was June of this year. So my channel grew very well during E3, and I had a lot of viewership during E3. So, it worked. E3 did exactly what I thought it was going to do. So, what sucked is I had surgery at the end of that month. So, like, I couldn't keep the momentum because of my surgery. But, I don't plan to have any surgeries this year. So, shouldn't be a problem this year. But again, that's a decision I haven't even made, make clear I'm going to do. Yeah, Ariel Lazarus found me through my E3 coverage. That's the thing. Like, it's something I haven't decided that I'm going to do. But I'll cross that road when it's time. I still have, I think, 4 months before I need to even think about it. So, yeah, maybe you're better off going that. Like, it's a big boost. It's a lot. It's a large monetary investment. You could argue, that money would be better spent on huge giveaway prizes. You can maybe make that argument, but people really liked my hands-on impressions of stuff. We got a lot of views on our hands-on impressions. For the time. It might not seem like much now because our viewership's higher, but at the time, that was some of our highest viewership on videos was my impressions of the games, hands-on impressions. Yeah, don't get the business. Yeah, I try not to use my PayPal too much for the personal stuff, but every now and then, what I try to do is I try to like transfer if I'm gonna take like a chunk of the money off PayPal and use it for groceries or whatever. I usually deposit that from PayPal into my own bank. Then I don't have to track like the individual charges anymore. It's just that one lump sum I took out. Okay, that one lump sum, personal revenue. Taxes are different on that than it is on a business expense. But yeah, that's a whole accounting 101. And I don't really make enough revenue right now, anyways. All the taxes I pay, I just get back because of my kids. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, generally, when you have 3 kids, you don't really have to pay taxes. But I do anyways, just in case. I don't want to have to pay in. I don't want to have to pay in at all. Plus, I have like write-offs. E3, the whole E3 trip's a write-off. So all those donations for E3, I don't even have to worry about those donations. It was all a write-off. So it's like I never even got them. So that's always kind of cool too when you have big write-offs like that. This mixer, that's a write-off. I'm trying to think if there's any other major equipment in here. I mean, the camera's a write-off. The laptop's a write-off. Anyways. Groceries not considered a business, that's considered a personal expense. Now, if I took someone out on a business meeting and paid for lunch, that's a business expense. So say I'm interviewing someone and I'm going to interview them over lunch. That lunch becomes a business expense. But just eating isn't like a business expense. That doesn't count. Now, it does count when you're at E3. When you're on a business trip, all the money spent on that business trip that you needed to spend in order to stay alive. So the water you bought, the food you bought, the restaurants you went to, any of that stuff. If you had to buy a bag or whatever, luggage or whatever, all of that's a business expense. But when you're at home, it's not considered a business expense. You gotta be very careful with the business expenses. Gotta be very careful. Usually, I don't have to worry about it because, again, I don't make enough money. But I still keep track anyways, just in case. Just in case. If I need the write-offs, I have plenty of write-offs every year. Plenty of write-offs. I don't have any write-offs yet for this year, but we're only 2 days in. Eating makes you have to do business on the toilet. Hey, Nate. Hey, Joy-Con Nation. What's up, my man? What about rent or mortgage? Since your home is your place of business or internet, I do get to write off internet. I do get to write off a small portion of the electric bill, and I get to write off the square footage of this room and that room. So the combined square footage of all of this is given a percentage of the rent. There's a standard deduction for it, and then if I feel like I have more space than what the standard deduction would be off of rent, then I can actually measure the square footage and figure out exactly what percentage of my rent pays for this space. It's hard to determine what percent of the electric bill comes from here. So they just give you a standard deduction for the electric bill. But yeah, there's a lot of fun things about running your own business out of your home, and filing taxes and all that. There's a lot of interesting aspects to it. It makes tax returns take a hell of a lot longer to fill out, I can tell you that. It takes me like 3 hours or 4 hours using TurboTax to fill out my freaking tax return. But at least when I do it, it's awesome. I haven't been audited yet. Everything has come back clean the last 3 years. So, and I've gotten a tax return every year. So I've obviously been doing something right. I haven't had to pay in. Someone's a full-time YouTuber. How do they get health insurance? Private insurance. You can apply through Obamacare, even though that's like changing now. You can apply through that. You don't that's not income-based. People like think it's income-based. It's not. Any income level can apply for that and get cheaper health insurance. Or you just get private health insurance. Other job benefits are things you have to give yourself. Example, you want a 401k, which basically just takes your money and puts it in the stock market. What you do is there's these firms that do that stuff, that have people, and you say, hey, I want to set up a 401k here. And then you get access to this account, and you control how often you want to deposit into that account. And then you are trusting that company, again, putting your money in someone else's hands. You can just do it yourself, but it's a little trickier when you do it yourself. You waste a lot of time messing with the stock market. You can do good, but anyways, you tell the marketer, the broker or whatever, what you want done with your money in your 401k. Like, do you want it put into safe stocks? Safe stocks, as an example, would be something like Walmart. Like something that's a brand that basically doesn't really grow, but it doesn't really dip, right? It's something that you just put your money in it, and when you retire, that money you put in is still going to be there. Or do you want to put some of your money in the safe stocks, and then you want to do some high risk? Take like 10%, put it in high risk. Because then high risk, you might lose it, but you also might end up triple or quadrupling, and they will pull out your money from that high risk one once it like hits a certain threshold of returns. So basically, there's entire companies that handle that for you. You can go to them and meet them and control how much money you're giving them and all that stuff. And the big thing with that is generally there are restrictions with that. You can pull out the money anytime, but if you pull it out early, there's fees. And the fees exist to try to convince you. It's not trying to screw you. It's trying to convince you to actually keep your money in there and save it and bank it up. That's why the fees exist. So you keep it in there. Like I technically have a 401k that has like $500 in it at the stock market. But you keep it in there just because if I take it out, the fees on it's not worth it to me to pull it out. But when I actually retire, like when I officially stop working, it's like at age 55 or whatever. From 55 and on, I can start pulling from the retirement account without any fees. And you can set it up where you just get a regular payment, or you could literally pull it all at once. Like when you see people, oh, I'm retired and now I bought a yacht. Well, they just pulled out all their money at once and bought a yacht. I mean, it's their money. Do what you want with it. Obviously, when you work for another company, what's nice about 401ks is you'll put money in, and then sometimes your company will match the money you put in every month up to a certain value. So then you end up getting extra money in your retirement. So that's how what's beneficial about working for another big company is that you could have more money in your retirement than you could put in by yourself. But yeah, you just have to do all that stuff yourself when you're self-employed. What about you? I should just be Yoshi. I should just tax evade, right? Just tax evade, commit fraud, never get caught, never pay. You're going to sort out self-employed as far as taxes are concerned anyway, working from home now. Yeah, like you don't have to worry about it too much until you get over a certain threshold. Like once you're making like 30,000 plus a year, that's when you got to get serious about it. Under that, you're kind of considered below the poverty level, especially if you have a kid. But if you don't have kids, even then, like there's a threshold, like 22, 23,000. You're below the poverty level, and you're basically never gonna have to pay taxes on anything. I mean, you can pay your taxes, but you're just gonna get all the money back. What if you invested in Nintendo? Pretty volatile stock to invest in Nintendo. You can invest in them now, and then by the time I pull it out in 50 years, it could be down in the dumps. Or it could be really, really high. Nintendo would be a high risk. It would be where you want to invest when the stock's low. When it gets high, pull everything out. And then put it back in and buy even more stock when it goes low again. That would be one of the high-risk stocks. That's one of the you're going to make profit stocks. Does PayPal do Patreon? You can use PayPal on Patreon. Yes. Patreon does accept PayPal. You could probably buy a yacht and way more if you retire from P&G. My grandma takes so many crazy trips and stuff. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, if they were smart about it, have a huge retirement accounts. So they could basically retire and do whatever the hell they wanted to do they never got to do when they were younger. I want to do that stuff while I'm young, not while I'm old and it hurts. But what are you going to do? You could use your PayPal account on Patreon, Amade. I think you can just use a PayPal account. I don't think you have to have a card. I have a card, but I have a business account. So, I mean, of course I have a card. I'm not going to show you it because I can show you like the top of it. See, I got a PayPal business card, but again, it's because I literally, it's a business. All right, well, I'm going to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. It's been an emotional 24 to 48 hours. Thank you for your support. Remember to check us out at Patreon at patreon.com/NintendoPrime. You'll probably find a tier you enjoy. And if you don't, and you don't want to support me that way, or you can't, subscribe, share, like the videos, like the live streams. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. I think the next live stream I do is probably going to be a video game stream. I don't know what I'm going to stream yet. Might stream Civ 6, because I have Civ 6 on Switch and I haven't played it yet. I think that might be a fun stream. But, of course, Civ takes forever. It would not complete. I would just be playing it for a few hours. I won't be able to complete my match in Civ. Civ takes like 10 hours. So, all right. Peace out.